Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we have a train show haul. And by the fact that I am so zoomed out and far back from this thing shows just how much stuff I bought. Yeah, I went a bit overboard, as you could tell. So if you guys didn't know, this is my third train show for this year. I'm actually very surprised because, I didn't go to a train show last year at all because of coronavirus. So this year I really went overboard. I went through a whole bunch of little tiny websites. I found a whole bunch of like local small flea market train shows. And so I ended up going to 3 of them total this summer. The first two, as I said, are flea market train shows, and they were nice. The selection was limited, but the prices were rather cheap. The sellers there were mostly just like fellow hobbyists who were trying to get rid of some of their stuff. Whereas these larger train shows, like this one, which was in Monroeville, PA, near Pittsburgh, this one was much larger. It has a much larger selection, and it has the official, there's actual tickets they had to buy to get in, and it was in an air conditioned, convention center. It was a really proper train show, and the benefit of that is obviously there's a lot more selection, there's a lot more people there, but the downside is. First off, there's competition, more competition because more people know about it. And second off, and more importantly, is that the people there are actually, instead of just like fellow hobbyists who are trying to get rid of some broken things they don't have time to fix, it's more like sellers that are trying to make money from buying old stock and trying to flip it for a bit for more money. And so as a result, generally speaking, a lot of the stuff was a lot more expensive. And so I'm honestly surprised, therefore, by how much stuff I got because I got this stuff at some amazing prices here. Anyways, so with all that being said, I spent a bit too much this time, but it still should be pretty cool. So let's get started from the left here. This right here is 7 Centralia, Pennsylvania, P85BR coach cars. Made by Centralia, as I said, which is now purchased by Intermountain. These things originally sold with an MSRP of $65.99, and they're honestly worth $65.99. They have similar levels of detail as Walters cars. I will do a review on these, but yeah, they have equalized metal trucks with real springs that actually do go up and down. They have flush mounted windows with the really nice gaskets, the silver gaskets. They have an interior. They have separately applied wire grab irons and everything like that. They have all the works. The only thing they don't really have is lighting, but that's not a big deal for me. I'll add them myself. But anyways, so these things, as I said, $65.99. I paid $20 per car, and that's $140 for 7 cars here. These are amazing cars, and as I said, I'll do a review on these, but got a steal on these things. The guy was really nice, and he offered them for cheap. Next up, we have the Sunset Models H8/H9. Basically, it's an H8, but then they give you parts to easily, change it around and make it an H9, which I'll probably be doing. This engine, if you guys didn't know, this is the first run of the engine, and what that means is the first run was a bit inaccurate in the sense that the pilot actually sticks out a bit too much on the engine. If you see here, if you see these handrails right here, you notice that they're almost at a 45-degree angle. And what I realized was that the pilot sticks out way too much. The pilot should be a lot closer to the center here. There's a lot more space for that front truck to spin. And these handrails on the pilot here should actually be like 80 degrees, I'd say, not 45. And so as a result, this pilot sticks out too much. And what that does is that it makes the effect that it looks like the engine boiler, it looks like it sits too low. It looks like it's been flattened a little bit, when in reality it's just at the front that sticks out too much. But anyways, it does look a bit off as a result. That's a really easy fix. I'm going to find a way to make that pilot mounted a bit closer to the engine and fix that issue. But otherwise, that is the main issue. Probably one of the only issues with the drawback with the first run of Sunset Models. They're honestly fine. The second run fixed that issue, and the third run looks even better. But the first one is still nice. I got this engine for $190. The guy wanted $225, but I got it for $190. He said I was a pretty cool guy. He didn't really see many young modelers, and he offered me $190. And yeah, I took it away from him. It has a Canon can motor, which is really awesome. I haven't gotten a chance to open it yet, unfortunately, but you can kind of see down there. There's a Canon can motor down there, which is really awesome. And yeah, it complete with all the parts, which is really awesome. Okay, so that was my biggest purchase here. Next up, we have 2 Bowser H28 hopper cars. I wanted to get a fleet of these, and unfortunately, no one was selling these for cheap at all. Everyone was selling them for, normal retail prices, which is around $22, $23. I got these 2 for $21, and the reason I got these was because they had the Coal Goes to War symbol logo on them, which was not the most common thing. You don't see them common on Train World or anything anymore. So I figured buying them a few dollars below retail price and rather unique paint scheme was worth it. But for the most part, I want to ultimately get a whole bunch of these used, not new, buying retail price. I want to get a whole bunch of the used ones or the kit ones just to save some money, because ultimately I want a whole bunch of these H21 hoppers. PRR had a whole lot of them, so it makes sense for me to start collecting them. But anyways, yeah. Next up, we have this Arcane Brass. Now, Arcane Brass is known for making some rather nice models. They're really early models. They're really early brass models, so their details rather sparse. In fact, most of the stuff is, as you can see, just applied by just brass wire. There's no brake shoes or anything like that, and they run rather roughly. There's no gearbox cover, open frame motor, very simple design. Yeah, details rather lacking. I'd actually think the detail on this engine is worse than Pro 2000, and definitely worse than other brass. But yeah, they're not the most detailed engines, but they run, and I mean they're literally bulletproof. Like they're made of some of the thickest material and really heavy material ever. These chassis will last forever, even though the nickel plating on these wheels are gone. This engine will still run forever. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it or sell it. Honestly, this is one of those engines I'm kind of debate keeping. I bought it for $80. Same seller with this guy, by the way. And yeah, so $80 I got off his hands. I don't know if this one runs. This one does run. The motor does spin, so there's no shorts. But the piping, the tubing that connects the motor to the gearbox is shot, so it's not running currently. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, this one I mean these things are really easy to get. In general, brass engines are really easy to get to run. And so this I don't know what to do with it, but $80 for this. It's a USRA 060. Next up, we have these 6 freight cars. The guy was giving an offer for 6 freight cars for $25, and I picked the 6 best freight cars. Basically, I wanted to avoid other blue box cars, because as nice as they are, I already have like 50 of those, so I try to go for, you know, the AccuRail stuff. And I think I picked up the last 5 of his AccuRail cars, which are much nicer than the other ones. They have, for one, they have actually proper coupler box heights, and they're overall just better models. So those are all accurate cars. AccuRail 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I don't. Yeah, no, this is not accurate. This is like Roundhouse or something. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But so 4 accurate cars, some mystery model. I think this is Walther's actually, and then this one right here, which is actually really unique. I can't believe the guy actually put this in the same pile as those. But this is a Silver Streak model. It's a wood and metal kit. Someone did a really good job, building this thing. It's really well done. It's a ballast hopper or something like that, Heart Gondola. Really odd looking car, and I don't know, just really well built. And it has, actually equalized suspension on the trucks, which again were pretty common for the era at the time. And KD couplers and metal wheels. So this is honestly I'm glad this was inside the same box, but it's really well done. It also has separately applied grab irons. I don't know why my camera's not focusing right now. There we go. Yeah, separately applied grab irons. So overall, really nice model. I'm really glad it's missing a brake wheel on the end here, but it's fine. Anyways, so that's that. Those are the 6 cars for $25. Next up, we have this Bachmann P70 coach. You can never have too many of these. I got this one for $15. Nothing special about it. Just just a standard coach. No missing parts, nothing like that. Next up, we have this old Bowser kit built X31 box car, I believe. $8. The guy, I was like, sure, yeah, $8 totally, I'll steal it. People are selling car kits. The kits, unbuilt ones for like $16, and the new ones for 20 something. So $8 for a kit built one that's actually built fairly well. I don't see any glue spots or anything like that. Pretty solid deal. Next up, we have this Walther's Proto R50 reefer car. The same seller with these. He wanted 20 for these. Again, I don't know how, but anyways, he gave it to me for $10, and I was like, all right, I'll take it. So I stole that pretty much. Next up, we have this right here. This is a New York Central caboose. Paid full price for it, $20. The guy actually did, or I don't believe this was done by the factory, so I think the guy did himself. He had all the separately applied wire grab irons and everything like that, and as well as markerless, which don't work. But yeah, pretty solid stuff. These things are rather rare, and to have one that's done, that has all the details applied professionally, I think that they did a really good job doing it. For $20 is pretty solid. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So there's a whole bunch of stuff here. I'm going to have to go through all this stuff carefully. I'm really excited about working with this engine. And yeah, so this will probably disappear. And as well as, unfortunately, I realized that, I didn't even look at this, to be honest, when I bought it. But 5 of these have the later PRR scheme with the keystones and no Pennsylvania like these. The scheme, which I believe was 1960s and afterwards. So unfortunately, these 5 cars are out of my paint scheme. or these five cars have have a paint scheme that's outside of my era. So unfortunately, those will probably have to go. But I definitely will be keeping these two. These two have the the original Pennsylvania gold key paint scheme. So these will definitely be in my collection. These five, not sure. I'll probably sell them to be honest, which is unfortunate. But I honestly don't need that many passenger cars, and so yeah. Anyways, so those will probably go, and the arcane brass will probably go. Everything else will definitely be on my layout though eventually. And yeah, so anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. That was a really fun train show. I spent way too much money, as I said, but I think I spent my money on wise stuff. I think everything I got was for pretty solid deals, even those which I paid basically full price for. Um, and yeah, so I'm pretty excited. I'm really excited I got all this stuff. A whole bunch of Pennsy stuff, not much Santa Fe stuff, unfortunately, because I guess it makes sense. It's a train show in Pennsylvania, so a lot of PRR modelers, a lot of modelers out there are PRR modelers. So, anyways, so with that all being said, I'm gonna probably end it here. And I'm really excited to work on some of these projects. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.